Last time on Shadow Piece, the battle between the Lokis and Hyrulean started to heat up. Using his brain for once resulted in Hyrulean coming up with a plan that resulted in the honorable sacrifice of King Loki, the king of the new world. The battle is still a 4 versus 1, but the Sin of Pride does something that really fits his title. Once again declaring his victory, but this time with the cherry on top, that you will only need one punch for each of the remaining Lokis to finish it all. Obviously, the audience loves this kind of confidence, but knowing how the battle went so far, it is hard to understand why he would dare to say that. But Hyrulean, on the other hand, is not just acting cocky for the sake of it. He has something else planned for his opponents. And he still has the 3 different ways he thinks he can use to win up his sleeve. The first surprise comes when the member of the Fleet of Death charges at bounty hunter Loki instead of the main body, even though he learned that all of their stamina is connected with the main Loki. For a moment it turns into a 1 versus 1, as all the other Lokis position themselves elsewhere on the arena. Fleet Admiral Loki is still guarding Prince Loki, and the unknown Loki is nowhere to be found. A variable Hyrulean has to keep in mind, but he shouldn't focus too much on it. He needs all the concentration for what is ahead of him. As 2 of the Lokis are staying out of the brawl, things have become much more bearable for Hyrulean. Landing clean hit after clean hit on bounty hunter Loki gives him all the satisfaction that could possibly exist. Not having to deal with multiple opponents at once was exactly what he needed to regain his own composure. Big moves are still not the way to go. As much as Hyrulean would love to pull out a Mjolnir, he holds back his urges and continues with basic punches. But don't forget, these are the attacks of the Sin of Pride. They hit like a truck, probably even harder. All things considered, this guy is at least a level 8 bounty. I would give such a target to Hunter Hawk. Just some ramblings from a multiverse traveler. Hyrulean has no idea what this ranking means or how high these levels go. Maybe he can ask after punching all of them. Finishing this all in a total of 4 punches was impossible. He knew that from the very beginning. However, the mental attack against the Lokis was successful, as they act a lot more careful now. For just a moment, the giant warrior drops his armament haki, and in that exact instant, the missing Loki appears from behind. With a jump kick, he strikes at Hyrulean's neck, and a disgusting crack fills the air. The audience gasps out aloud until the scream of Loki fills the entire area. Nobody expected this, but Hyrulean did a bit of trickery himself as well. The disappearing haki was not because he was running out of energy, it was all part of his plan. Just as the kick was about to hit, the giant warrior centered all of his power, all of his willpower onto his already thick neck. In that second, his neck was even harder than the best metal that Bronya could produce with her devil fruit powers, and the unsuspecting Loki broke his foot in the process. While still struggling from the pain and being airborne, Hyrulean grabs his leg and starts slamming him left and right, and left and right. Mass destruction ensues, and even the bounty hunter's attacks don't stop the Juggernaut's rampage. At this point, the Loki that has not yet revealed his origin has already lost consciousness, and so all that's left to do with his body is to throw him out of the ring. 3 versus 1, that's all that is left. Things are starting to go exactly like Hyrulean wants them to do. After shaking up his opponent's mind, they just continue to make mistake after mistake. All of this can probably be traced back to our Prince Loki, as his state is enough to influence all of the other visiting versions. Fleet Admiral Loki is tasked with protecting him, but things are only going to get more and more difficult for all of these Lokis. Chubby Loki leaves his safe spot and shifts his position next to Hyrulean. No coherent thoughts are being made, and no time is being spent on thinking about the future. Loki moves his arm back and it increases in size. He, however, is left completely open in the process. A chance like this doesn't represent itself that often. Not hesitating a second, Hyrulean blasts an attack at Loki, but it gets blocked. The Fleet Admiral also teleported to the place where everything is going down, and he also removed his shirt, revealing his muscular but scarred chest. Pitch black haki covers his chest, and he tanks the attack for his counterpart. You better make sure this one counts, Loki. Hey, tough boy, you're not the only one capable of grappling. You're Mongander! His body starts to shift and change until it reaches a form that can in no way be called humanoid. It appears more like a worm or snake-like creature that has completely wrapped itself around the body of the Sin of Pride. He's struggling to move even an inch. Not even a muscle can twitch in the hold of this monstrous lock the Fleet Admiral is performing. While this happened, the other Loki's arm kept on increasing in size. It went so far that the rest of his body diminished to basically that of a tontata. And then it was ready. A fist the size of an ancient giant, probably even bigger. In the hands of a tactical genius, frightened as he is, this is meant to end it all very quickly. It doesn't last for long, but in the moment a giant fist crashes into Hyrule. The entire surrounding arena gets destroyed by the force of attack. Most of the arena is just gone, completely obliterated. Nothing but small pieces of rubble are left, and Fleet Admiral Loki lies on the ground next to the pieces. He has officially lost as well. That marks the third Loki getting disqualified. However, the actual target of this attack, the proud giant, is nowhere to be seen. He could not have dodged the attack, especially considering that Fleet Admiral Loki got hit and he had Hyrule on a complete lockdown. And that gets proven right away. When Hyrule re-emerges from the clouds of dust, he is a bloody mess. His helmet completely destroyed, his arm guards obliterated, but he remains standing. But for how much longer is the question. The battle has calmed down, only 3 warriors are left standing, and all of them want to end it rather sooner than later. Hyrule is on his last leg. Prince Loki now has to deal with the massive drawback of his ancient giant fist. And Bounty Hunter Loki just remembered he still has to go to the dry cleaner in his universe. The seriousness of this situation can be seen by everybody, but so can be the downside of Loki's massive attack. It is an odd, even bizarre situation. The people know it is Loki, but he looks nothing like he normally does. On the arena, this barely 3 meter tall skinny man can be seen. He's still taller than many humans, but at that size he can't be called a giant. However, size isn't everything, and this tiny version of Loki instantly starts attacking the huffing Hyrule together with his bounty hunter version. At this stage, the battle has lost all of its special maneuvers and returns to the most basic of showdowns. Simple punches, rudimentary kicks, and elementary dodges. At the end of it all, it comes down to one thing: stamina, and both sides are running out of this quickly. No more tricks. The people of Elbaf may love spectacular battles like what they have seen so far in this one, and yet a bare-boned climax like this also ignites their hearts, their warrior spirits. Even the humans watching can understand the burning passion that is being shown in this semi-final. The representative of the new giant warrior pirates has decided to go for a full victory. No matter what preparations he did with Moria, throw those away. Letting Loki tire himself out, that is boring. So to get the most adrenaline out of this battle, the warrior path is the best option. Running isn't even something either side can still do. This really is the finale of the first semi-final of the Winter Solstice Festival tournament. The last test of endurance and willpower continues, but Absalom and Sanji decided to leave the audience in preparation for their own upcoming battle. The Charlotte's opponent is the giant from abroad, Magnus. His might was terrifying in his last battle against Sigurd, so Sanji has to form some sort of strategy to win. Doing the same to his axe as he did to Eric's hammer won't be possible, as the quality of their weapons is just way too different. Absalom, the Dark Messiah, is also thinking about it a lot. He knows what he would do, but what are the options for his student? Stealth Black, Azure Pudding Inferno, Germa Enhancement, all of these things will have to be used to assure victory, but will they be enough? Sanji boy, I think you have to use those 2 techniques. I know we haven't completely finished them, but your opponent is just that much of a monster, we have to take that risk. The Chimera Man has come to a decision, and yet his facial expression is clearly nervous. This battle will be like none the cook ever had before. The blonde man knows it as well. Using unfinished techniques does seem risky though. Loud cheers come from the battlefield. The fight seems to have finished. Now his time has come. The last battle of the day and his chance to enter the final of the tournament. His eyes are burning for his wish, and he always knew that the path to achieve that wish won't be easy. So you better be prepared, Magnus. This cook born in the north and raised in the east is ready to turn you into a full course 5-star meal for the entire audience to enjoy. And this is the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece. I hope you enjoyed it. The battle of Hyrule and Loki is coming to an end, and Sanji is already thinking about how to defeat Magnus. There are many variables going into this fight, and there will be some things that none of you will expect. I can tell you that much already, because the battle is already here. You can expect it to see it in the next upcoming weeks. But that's all from me for today. All that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro out. Bye!